With us here right now on the phone, ladies and gentlemen, many know her as the greatest of all time, Trish Stratus. Welcome, Trish.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I mean, Trish, first of all, how did you, are you right now? Because you're not on the pro wrestling schedule, but you're a few days out of Evolution, right? It's on Sunday night. Are you kind of in your head right now realizing, okay, I got about 4 days and then I have a WWE championship match?
Yeah, I mean, of course I'm in my head. That's where I should be, I guess, 4 days out. But I'm in my head, I'm in my body, I'm in my zone. I've been doing this for, a quarter of a century. Kind of what I do. And that's the thing I keep finding is when I do go back, of course I have moments of can I do this? And should I still be doing this? But then I, go out and do it, and it feels like home. So, I mean, this opportunity now is just a whole other level with the element of the championship involved.
Yeah, I think you posted something that it was this is your first championship match in 18 years. Is that right?
Yeah, just in 18 years. Yep. It's listen, I had my accountant, of all people, my accountant texted me and said, is it 2005 or 2025? What? Trish Stratus has a championship match? I'm like, yeah, you're goddamn right. I
And that's the way it should be. I mean, I would have to imagine that, after your last run, I would have to imagine your confidence is pretty high because, I think that people are always going to question everything. But then you got into that cage match with Becky Lynch and, tore the house down. And it's one thing to be able to say that you still got it. But it's another thing to be able to go, no. Stepping in with this generation of women's wrestlers and, having match of the night, tearing the house down is it's rare air.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. When I try everything I set out to do, I want it to be that level. I want it to be the best. I don't go for mediocrity at all. Mm-hmm. And I always say I'm giving 100%. And it's something I've said from if you look back at my retirement messaging, right? It was the original one. Sorry, it's tough to talk about. 2006 was I said, I just knew at that point I couldn't give 100%. I couldn't. I had dislocated my shoulder. I had to be with my mom. I couldn't commit to the schedule. It was just everything about I couldn't give 100% at that time, and I ended up retiring. But every time I come back, I've said that. I've said if I'm not going to give 100%, I'm not going to come and give you a cool 60. Here's a cool 60 from Trish, guys. Enjoy. Here's a little glimpse, but not all of it. I'm not doing it right. So it's and I believe I'm very cognizant of that fact. When I go back, when I was in the Rumble, I watch carefully to make sure that I'm delivering and I'm not. I want to still I want to be a viable part of the entire show, of the segment, of the match. You know what I mean? So it's important for me to make sure that, and that's my standards. I have to make sure that I'm delivering at a certain level as well.
Yeah. How quickly did this match come about for you? Were you kind of aware that this is what we're working towards, or did it seem as quickly for you as it did for us that just one day it's hey, in a week or two, this is our WWE championship match?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would definitely say this has been a match I think that people have been looking towards for, since Tiffany and I interacted the first time, which and I don't want to say, okay, guys, long-term storytelling, but, Tiffany and I had a little interaction back at the Money in the Bank, and these things are not by coincidence, right? We're not we have an opening to do a moment here. Let's just, I mean, we know we're always planting seeds. We always are, so, that was back in Toronto in, I don't know, is it 2 years ago? 2 years ago now? No, a year ago, right? I guess.
Yeah, a year ago. It would have been a year ago, yeah.
Okay, a year ago, right? So we did that, and then, of course, we had the Elimination Chamber. And then, people, I remember just even that match, people thought, oh, Trish is going to turn on her, and
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm not going to see you in Toronto, guys. I'm not doing that, let's talk about the booking here. But I think it's, I mean, unfortunately, yes, it is. This entire card has seemed to be a quick turnaround, as it is, unfortunately. And I get it. There's 7,000 events a month, it seems like. But I think there's a little bit of a built-in storyline, luckily, for Tiffany and I. I think, I love the fact that we had this, this connection. And I think people really were digging the Tiffany time thing. So I think that worked really well. But, I think people were seeing the parallels. There was there's these two blondes who came into the business and, preconceived notion of what they can deliver in the ring, and having to prove ourselves and knowing that, like, you might think this is what you're going to get from me in the ring, but now I have to work extra hard because I have to prove those people all wrong, right? So we both have to do that, and had great success early on in our career. She became champion at 25. I know a certain someone who became champion for the first time at 25 as well. So, there's a bit of and luckily I say there's a bit of a built-in storyline because, there's been the whole, evolution kind of came about quite quickly for everyone. But I think with a little bit of that, fantasy booking and seeing Tiff and I in there, I think people wanted it, and I think it's going to really deliver. I know it's going to deliver, Sam.
I think it's going to deliver. Luckily. So, yeah, but I also think, too, that, like, you're right about the comparisons that get made, and you're right that, like, this is one of those matches that I would say, like, literally from the time Tiffany Stratton was in NXT, there were Trish comparisons being made and comparisons being made between the two of you, where it is. And I think that the best part about what you just said was not necessarily the fact that maybe there's a similar look, maybe there's it's the idea of what the expectations were, that Tiffany came in as this sort of, like, blonde gymnast. And it's like, okay, there's just another somebody from outside that's going to enter the world, and in no time, like within months, is knocking everybody's socks off, going like, oh, this is the future of the industry. And I think that the same thing happened to you in the Attitude Era when you came in, and it was like, oh, okay, we got a model here. That's great. And all of a sudden, you're capable of having matches that literally change the genre of women's wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's what, and it's something we talked about too. Like, it's been cool to see that we both had to go through that, and it's what motivated us. It's what makes us go out there and have fantastic matches every time we go out there, because I mean, there's a little bit of that thing where people's bar is a little lower. They're like, oh, and then like, oh, so we just got to continue to raise the bar every time we go in there. So, I'm excited. I mean, it's crazy. I want to say there's this, and I said it when Becky and I were facing off, and Charlotte too, that this generational face off, but. Sam, this is we are going a couple of generations on this one.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to say it, but
I'm like, I'm not tackling the last generation, but also the next one, and then the next, and then that one over there too. Yeah, I'll take all them on.
Yeah, but I mean, but Trish, I mean, what's wild is that, like, you show up and, like, you keep getting better, like you're aging in reverse. And the level that you're competing at, I mean, the women are fighting harder and more athletically and for longer amounts of time than they ever have. And you're not only keeping up, you're setting the standard in a lot of cases. And also, like, you look like you could have debuted yesterday.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I try.
What
listen,
are we doing? Is it? You drink a lot of water? Is it yoga? I don't know. How does one pull it off?
You're laughing, but that's like literally what I do. I mean, I did a photo shoot. It was like my 112th cover. I've done a ton of covers, but I haven't been on a fitness cover in a while. That's sort of like when you're in the fitness, you're in the fitness. And so I got approached to the cover, and that came out end of last year. And it was for me, I thrive on challenge. So it was like, oh my gosh, okay, one thing that'll be like, slender in your outfit, but like, are we going to see the muscles and the rippling and enough to like I deserve to be on the cover of a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I, okay, let's get to it, put the program into play, and I produced, and I was, it was a great cover. And I feel like it's like I just thrive on challenge. So it's like that after that, they're like, well, you really stepped to the occasion. This is a hot cover. You did great. And then the question in one of the interview was, what is the secret? And of course I laughed because people know me. Hydration. I'm like make sure you hydrate. Like all the makeup girls know. I'm like, you guys hydrating? Everyone it's so important. Okay. And yoga, I live it. I've been living it since I had an injury in 2004 and found it and use it to rehabilitate my back and use it to live that lifestyle. It's the way I do in the ring. It's because of the yoga that I do. It's like the number one thing people say. What do you tell like kids getting into wrestling? Like, do yoga. That's the number one thing to do. But I also, the secret is I've been training for 27 years.
Yeah.
I was an athlete my whole, as a kid. I grew up playing sports. I played varsity level field hockey. I played rep level soccer. So I played up until I was 21 years old on that level of teams. And then I went into, fitness modeling, and then I went into wrestling. So, I've been training for literally almost 30 years straight. But it's a lifestyle. It's not like, it's a non-negotiable. It's not like what I do to prep for this photo shoot. Like I was ready. And when I say that line, that cliche line of like, I be ready, I stay ready. I really do stay ready. I stay in the state, which is why when there was a phone call, I was able to be like, boom, jump in the ring, go run, get that ring rust off and hop to it. And there is a little bit, I will say, like I remember maybe the 2018 Royal Rumble was the first time I was like, ooh, I don't know. I haven't been there. And that point had been like 10 years or something, since I'd been in the ring. And I had birthed 2 babies and, so I was like, I don't know if I could actually go. And then, I just got in there, and I think wrestlers will find it's a little bit like riding a bike. Your body does know. Sometimes, though, your body does know the motions, but, yeah, you might move a little slower. So I'm just always super keen. Like, I mean, feel free, public, fans, you guys. Like, if you see it, slow it down, just tell me. I'll hang them up, But if I can still go, I'm going to keep going.
And I think that's why you get the reactions you get when you come out. Right? Because it's like, no, she's still going at the same pace. And by the way, while you were talking, our producer just pulled up the cover that you were talking about. And it really is. I mean, it's crazy. But I think that thing about like that you've been living this lifestyle for 27 years, that this is your life. And you've been doing it from the beginning. It's not like you just woke up one morning and said, I think I'm going to get in shape today. This has been it. Was there ever a period of time where you were like, This is a difficult lifestyle. This is a lot of work. Let me take a break from everything.
Honestly, it's not really work to me. It's just the way I live. Like, You know what I mean? It's sort of just what I do. It's like yoga. I do yoga every single day, and I don't necessarily go to a class or do like an hour practice every day. But I move. I do a 10-minute movement, just to just keep the joints lubricated, keep the body moving, and keep your spine aligned. Like these little things that you do will keep you young. And it's not as easy as saying do yoga and everyone's going to stay young forever. But it really is just part of my lifestyle. The only time I maybe slipped out of this lifestyle was when COVID hit. And for the first time ever, I sat on my couch and had no and don't forget, right? There's this thing is I've really been working for 30 years, whatever. Like I've had to be TV ready every week, right, for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I make this joke. I'm like, look, I look like, girlfriends who are going through middle-aged friends of mine, they're going, oh my God, what do you do? I'm like, well, I got to be on TV in like a week. So I got to keep it up, right? So I'm always, I stay ready because I really have to be on TV. I'm TV ready just all the time. But also don't forget, Sam, like wrestling to me, like I've been doing this for 25 years. It is really just part of me. And I'm always looking to I'm not going to stay the same. I'm going to continue to grow, but I'm growing with the product and growing with, and it's like, different partners bring you different matches. And that's what I love about it. I love, work. I mean, obviously, Lita and I made history as one of me and Lita and probably me and Mickey James, one of the greatest rivalries I'd say in my career. But I mean, we're going to knock over Victoria and I and Jazz and I, like every opponent you work with brings out something different in you and brings out a different match, a different energy, and so when I got the chance to mix up with Charlotte and with Becky, different energies, different, and it's amazing. I feel very blessed that I'm able to do it. And so me and Tiffany getting in there with someone so like-minded to me, and same styles in a way, but also very different styles. So, I'm super excited about it. And even just working side by side with her when we were teaming up, this is a dream match for me as well.
That's so cool. As a dream match for you as well. When you get back into this wrestling space, does your brain start going? Because it's not only the physical part of it, obviously, and it's not only the matches, it's the stories that you're telling and the way you're going to get to these stories and the way you're going to make people care about what's happening. Like, does your brain kind of click into wrestling mode as well?
Yeah, 1,000%. And there's a little bit of things like you can only control what you could control.
Yeah.
Do I wish there was a bigger build? Do I wish we had a longer segment? Do I wish we didn't have a very boring segment last week on Sunday? Sure. But, it is what it is. You get your time, you do your thing, and sometimes things get thrown together. It is what it is, right? To me, the thing I control is the match. I will control the match. We will control the match. We will tell the story. We'll control the narrative. And that's where I know I can do the work. So, I mean, even, there was moments in Becky and I's feud where it did go on a little bit longer than maybe people like. And so, maybe one too many promos about the same thing. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe, but who's to say?
That might have happened. But at the end of the day, we knew we had to deliver at that, that match and everything. We're not going, remember that Raw when they said, then we're not doing that, right? We're remembering the rivalry and the chemistry and what we brought in the match. And so, that's, at the end of the day, it's thrown together. We got a 2 week, 10-day build, 10-day build.
10 day. Yeah.
But, you know what? I mean, gosh, I thought Charlotte and I had a short build, but again, it was right for the moment, and I think it was like, Charlotte and I was like the right moment, in Toronto, and Vince and I talked about it, and he wanted to go back for that moment, and it just felt like it was the right time to go back to tell that story in the ring as part of that card. And in this case, it's the same thing. Evolution is a history-making event. We're returning to it. And you need, you're going to bridge the gap between past and current generations and future generations, so bringing me on board makes sense on paper. And again, now at this point, we just have to deliver on Sunday.
Which you will. And I also think, too, that the thing about wrestling fans is that we all, as long as the payoff lands, none of the rest really matters. Like your memory of everything, to me, is always kind of in the payoff for what it is. So if you do deliver when the match is in the ring, that's kind of all that matters ultimately. Do you see this, especially with as quick as it's been, as I'm here for a couple Smackdowns, I'm here to tell my story, I'm here to do my match with Tiff, and then I'm out? Or do you see this as, no, we got some stuff cooking here?
I kind of felt like this is being my 25th year, my 25th anniversary year. It was a year of celebration, and that's kind of how we talked about it, as like, let's do some cool stuff this year for your 25th year, and so that's what we've done. We've had these moments coming in at 25 at the Royal Rumble. Toronto was right around the corner. It made sense. It allowed us to then build on the Money in the Bank story that we did a year ago. Got that little partnership there, had a nice little hometown crowd, homecoming match, and then here we are with now, like this is a great place for this to, for us to face off at Evolution. It's almost like been written. This is perfect the way it's been written. Almost if you were like to look at the year of like how it should go. So we're only it's only July, isn't it, Sam?
It's only July. We're barely halfway through. We're barely halfway.
I always tell, I literally have said, if you guys want some merchandise back to me, just let me know. And if you don't, then, let me know too. I don't care really about what those guys say. But yes, if you want more merchandise back, let me know.
That's it. That's the message then. Sunday, of course, is Evolution. I'll be in Atlanta for it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see this match. I cannot wait to see what you guys have for us. And, and what the continued 25th year of Trish Stratus looks like. So, Trish, thank you so much for being generous with some of your time today.
Of course. Thanks for the great chat. And I hope you look forward to Sunday as much as I do.
For sure. Absolutely. And I think a lot of us do. Thank you, Trish.
Thank you, my friend.
All right. Bye. Trish Stratus. What a better way to end that interview than thank you, Trish.